Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Ben Morales here. And yesterday we had some exciting news. The Fed decided that they were going to lower the prime rate. And if you know anything about how the Fed works, usually when the prime rate drops, other products in terms of interest rates start to follow as well. So, and you've already seen in the market, or maybe you haven't seen it, but in the market lately, in the last couple of weeks, mortgage rates have gone down. And obviously, it's what the market is calling for. And now the prime rate has gone down. So it's going to impact variable rates like credit cards, variable rates like home equity line of credits, variable rates like a personal line of credit. So what I wanted to do in today's video, I just wanted to tell you, you don't have to have drastic amounts of decreases in your interest rate in order to get the value, in order to have impact positively your finances and to save yourself a lot of interest costs over time. So what I wanted to show you today is the breakdown of what a home equity line of credit at a certain balance, right, 168, 500, would look like if the interest rate only drops to 0.25, like the Fed had just made the change yesterday. So now what's going to happen here is this is the calculation of this is a simple way for you to calculate what your current costs are, or if you're thinking about getting a home equity line of credit, maybe changing from a mortgage to a first position home equity line of credit, or adding a home equity line of credit to your pay down strategy and using that as your debt tool. This is how you can calculate what it would cost you. So easy formula, you take the balance of what the home equity line of credit might be, and then this is off of yesterday's rate. This is a current rate to a home equity line of credit at the old rate, right? We're not including what it would look like after the interest rate drops. But where it was is at 7.28. And what that does, it gives you the cost of interest for the entire year. So we need to break it down. We need to find out what the average daily balance is. And when we need to, the way to do that is you divide that number by 365, and you're going to get your average daily balance cost. So we can see that if the balance remained at 168,500 with that particular interest rate over the cost of 1 year, the daily cost would be $33.61, right? So another way to figure that out is taking the same number divided by 365. You're going to get a different number, right? But if you multiply that different number by the interest rate, again, you're going to come up with the same number. So what does that look like? When we take your average daily balance, and if it maintained itself or if it stayed at 168.5, that means that in a 31-day cycle, if that month had 31 days, the total cost for that particular interest rate, or rather that particular balance at that interest rate is $1,041.91. Not bad, right? It depends on, obviously, you might look a little bit different depending on the type of balance you have and what your interest rate is. Now, with the 0.25 deduction that the Fed announced just yesterday, the likelihood of this dropping 0.25, right? The prime rate, right? The interest rate is going to go down based upon the prime rate. And then your lender or whatever lender this home equity line of credit is with is going to add the margin to it. So what would change is probably not the margin, but the prime rate, which again, based on the deduction, should drop it hypothetically to 7.03. And that's what this is going to show. Same balance, right? Divided by 365, that stays the same. But what's changing is the interest rate. The interest rate is actually lower, 7.03. Now the per day cost, the average daily balance, you can see it's actually going down to $32.45. When you do the monthly cost, right? What would that cost over the period of 31 days? You're going to get $1,005.95. That is a difference of $35.96. So you may look at it and say, that's only $35 a month. Well, $35 a month times 90, times 12 rather, you actually get $430, $431.52. So that's a yearly cost. A small little 0.25 deduction to that interest rate gives you a yearly deduction of $431.52. But what we haven't talked about yet is how we start to utilize this line of credit as a deposit account, as a checking account, right? With the rapid payoff method, you move all of your income as you get paid throughout the course of the month. You move all that income into paying down this home equity line of credit. And as you need expenses, you start to deduct it or you take it out of the home equity line of credit. This is why I always say the best thing when you're trying to implement the strategy is have them both in the same bank, because you want to have that fluidity of the cash flow to be seamless, right? So when you do that, that is actually going to increase this number by how much? Well, that depends on how efficient you have it set up. It depends how much time and energy you put into making sure that bills or money is brought out of the home equity line of credit only when you need it, right? Don't take out more money than what you actually need from the home equity line of credit. Only take out for that day's expenses. Everything else, when you get paid and gets put into that home equity line of credit, should remain in the home equity line of credit for as long as possible, because that has a direct interest to the average daily balance based on the newer, lower rate. So I hope this makes a lot of sense for you. I'm going to be showing other videos, so stay tuned to the channel, because now that the market is turning and interest rates are going to continue to drop, I'm going to be researching where in different areas of the country can you get the best buck for your money, or the best deal, the best bang for your buck, rather, I should say, when it comes to home equity line of credit. So stay tuned to the channel. I want to thank you for continuing supporting the channel. And until the next video, look forward to seeing you once again. Take care and God bless.